Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Unfortunately, this is going to be a broadcast where I have to throw some cold water on other people's prophecies. In other words, I just got an email, and I don't know, maybe I should pull it up here and just actually read for you what I wrote to this person in an email. They were telling me, we need to check in, and I need to be talking to people about September 23rd. So, first of all, let me explain to you what September 23rd is. I started to say is, but actually isn't. But there are a lot of folks on the internet that are saying that Revelation 12 is going to come to pass, and something big. A lot of folks are even saying the rapture is going to take place September 23rd of 2017. Now, essentially, it's saying that the star configuration, and it's 12 stars. I'm not even going to waste the time to go into explaining it. This 12-star configuration, and then another star comes down into what would be the birthing area of the woman, and then stays there 9 months, and then goes out. And all of this is supposed to be proof that we're in the last days, or that the rapture is going to happen. And it's going to be something really, 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 really big. Okay, so I watched this, and it was about a 30-minute presentation. And actually, I thought the guy did a really good talk. As a matter of fact, I thought, wow, like probably you did too if you saw those. Wow, that's really cool. But again, as a mature prophecy student that I believe you are, and the mature prophecy teacher that hopefully I am, we have to check it out. So I called the definitive proof, the expert when it comes to biblical astronomy, and that would be Bob Wadsworth. Bob has made, I'd have to look it up, but I think it's 4 DVDs with us. And this guy, that's all he does is live and breathe biblical astronomy and Bible prophecy. And in my opinion, I have not run across anyone that is even close to understanding biblical astronomy or Bible prophecy as much as him. So I called him. Let me read this email to this person I just sent out to you first, and then I'll tell you what Bob said. Okay, so this person says, this year, the 23rd is supposedly different because the lineup of the planets, parenthesis, very involved explanation, hasn't been this way since the birth of the Lord Jesus Christ. Now, that's what is out on the internet, and it seems like anybody can get themselves a microphone and a little camera for $35, and they can put something up on the internet, and it sounds real good, and then they get donations, and of course, then more people listen, and more people spread it around, because it's more Chicken Little stuff. But the question is it accurate? Well, this was my response back. I said, yeah, that's what they say, but Bob Wadsworth, the expert and definitive answer on biblical astronomy, says it only happens once every 11 years. It means nothing. Another person that finds proof the world is coming to the end, giving the naysayers more ammunition to discount the Bible and prophecy. Missed prophecies hurt our credibility, which is pretty much dead anyway. Now, that's right. I called Bob. I said, Bob, you familiar with this thing on September 23rd? And I barely got it out of my mouth before he said, yes. Yes, I am. I said, okay, any truth to it? He says, no. He says it happens every 11 years, exactly the same thing. And he says, but there's another guy that has found this and put something up on YouTube. And so he's saying that the rapture is going to happen, or other people are saying the end of the world is going to happen, or who knows what's going to happen. All right, well, now that brings us up to another thing. And what I'm not trying to make fun, because, brothers and sisters, we are supposed to watch. I mean, Revelation one place says, if thou shalt not watch, I will come upon thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee. And I'd have to go and pull it up, but I think there's like 11 times in the New Testament we are commanded to watch. So yes, we are supposed to watch. And yes, if we see something that we think is a prophecy coming to pass or potentially coming to pass, I believe we are right to blow the trumpet. As you know, Ezekiel 33:6 says, if you see the sword coming upon the land, you're to blow the trumpet. And if you don't blow the trumpet, then their blood is on your head. If you blow the trumpet and they hear the warning and they don't heed the warning, they don't do something, then their blood is on their own head. But the watchman is off the hook as long as he's blowed the trumpet, so to speak. So yes, absolutely. When you think you see something, somebody needs to say, hey, is this something? But on the other hand, we do need to go to our seasoned brothers and sisters that don't do Bible prophecy once in a while. They're normally a pastor most of the time, and I love my pastors, okay? I wish I could preach more like a pastor. Okay. But in other words, not our part-time prophecy people. Not someone that occasionally records something and sticks it on YouTube, okay? But if you know my background, 40 years studying it, 30 years teaching it, 24 years radio and TV program, 33 DVDs, memorized the book of Revelation. I mean, Bible prophecy is how I have made my living for the last 24 years. I don't do it part-time. Maybe I should explain that. My life exists with getting out of bed, praying to God in the morning. I will typically spend anywhere from 1 to 3 hours a day reading, studying, and praying over the Bible. And I research all kinds of things. As a matter of fact, this DVD that I've got coming up here, let me just pull it up here, called Revelations on Revelation. And I put together, here's the way I put it together. I put random thoughts that come up to me into a PowerPoint file. And these random thoughts are generally a collection of Bible prophecy verses with points to be made. And then after I've got them all made and I've covered all my points, then I have been through all of my notes to make certain I'm not missing any of the revelations. Well, the problem is I've got 289 slides to make a 2.5-hour DVD called Revelations on Revelation. Now, what does that mean? Well, the typical speaker will have 125 to probably at the most 200 slides in a 2.5-hour talk. So obviously this talk, if I'm going to go through all those slides, and I probably am, is not going to be a 2.5-hour DVD. It's probably going to be a double DVD, but I also think it's going to be the best DVD that I have made ever. I also think it's going to be one of the best DVDs that we have ever offered at the Prophecy Club. So which by the way, I guess I should tell you that too. We are currently about to set a date. Well, I don't have that date right in front of me, but I think it's supposed to be, yeah. We're looking either October 8 or October 15. Don't set your calendar yet. I'll let you know, but I plan to be making the DVD probably a Saturday evening, Sunday morning talk. At least that's the talk that we're thinking right now. But I will be in touch with you when we get that put together. But I assure you, if you can, you want to attend. If you can't, for sure, you do want to get this DVD. It's matter of fact, the biggest thing that I have discovered is Morning Star, and I talked about it on one radio program. But oh boy, have I found more on it. And I've looked it up. No one in all of the internet has the revelation on the Morning Star. No one. I've Googled it. I've researched it. I've looked it up. No one understands it. And it's going to be a wow. I mean, it's really, I mean, it's really cool. It's really neat to understand what the Morning Star is and how you can get the Morning Star. And it's just awesome to understand. Okay, anyway, so back to what we're talking about today. No, I do not think anything is going to come September 23rd. All right, now let's talk about the eclipse. Okay, now, as you know, I mean, I get a lot of things sent to me by email, and a lot of things are, the sky is falling. I mean, Jesus is coming and that the rapture is happening and all sorts of things. And you don't hear about them because they aren't worth more than about 10 seconds of your time to reach the delete button on your computer. But I do need to talk about the eclipse because it was a really, really big thing. And there's all sorts of things out there on the internet. People are saying it's all kinds of things. If it would take me a while to research all of the things they're saying about the eclipse. None of them, in my opinion, amounts to a hill of beans, as my mom used to say. So I will say this. If the eclipse means anything at all, I would say that it is kind of like the no smoking sign. If you look at the no smoking sign, you have a circle, but the line drawn across the cigarette saying no more cigarettes starts at the top left, goes to the bottom right. If you look at America and the black stripe from Salem, Oregon, all the way down to just north of Florida, as I recall, is essentially top left, bottom right, just like the no smoking sign. So I'm going to say that if the eclipse is saying anything to us, it is simply saying that you have been found weighed in the balances and found wanting, that the judgment is soon to fall on this nation. Now, I do not think it's a specific day that we've been told, at least not yet. Now, Dmitry did say that God told him that if we would pray, God would tell us the very day that the Russians would attack. Apparently, we hadn't been praying enough because I have not heard any date being affixed to it yet. However, and this is what I've been talking about here for, 3 or 4 broadcasts, this Charlottesville, this could be it. This could be the start of the internal revolution. So let's talk briefly about it as I have some new information on it. First of all, let's go back to the beginning. This is the prophecy that I first heard in February of 1987. Someone handed me an audio tape, Dmitry Duduman giving his testimony, and he told about how the angel Gabriel came to him and said the fall of America will start. And please listen to the words carefully because we're going to talk about this more. An internal revolution. The fall of America will start with an internal revolution in America started by the communists. You probably have all this memorized by now. Some of the people will start fighting against the government. The government will be busy with internal problems. Then from the oceans, Russia, Cuba, Nicaragua, Central America, Mexico, and 2 other countries, which I cannot remember, will attack. The Russians will bombard the nuclear missile silos in America, and America will burn. Now, I'm not trying to change the words from the angel Gabriel. I'm not trying to change what I believe to be thus saith the Lord. But what I am going to ask everyone out there is, could it be that if God were to give us more details and tell us exactly how or where or when the internal revolution were to start, could it be that this next sentence might be that additional information? Could it be that the fall of America will start with an internal revolution in Charlottesville, Virginia, started by the communists, seeking to remove Confederate statues? Some of the people will start fighting against the government. The government will be busy, blah, blah, blah. I got something emailed to me this morning, which, by the way, if you have something to email, my email is AskStan, that's A-S-K, AskStan at prophecyclub.com. AskStan at prophecyclub.com, and no one filters that email. I'm the only one that gets that email, so it would be nice if you have something to say. If it was kind or even kindly worded, that would be very nice. The positive comments are welcome. And, of course, I might also make, if there's things you don't like, I guess I will listen to those too, but it would be nice if there's occasionally a kind thing said. Anyway, so I get this in the email. The Nazi Party burned books and destroyed statues. Let me say it again. Burned books and destroyed statues, violently opposed free speech, smashed windows of businesses, euthanized babies not ideal, used a mob to intimidate opposition. And it went on to say Democrats, and I'm going to add here also progressives or communists, because that's all, Democrats or progressives are just a modern word for communists, in my opinion. And then it said those who forget history are doomed to repeat it. Now, let me repeat that. The Nazi Party burned books and destroyed statues. Well, we haven't seen any books burned in America yet, but don't hold your breath. Destroyed statues. We've seen that recently. As a matter of fact, I think this whole issue over statues is not going away. I think it's going to explode. It may very well be the match that started the internal revolution that will destroy our country. Because a lot of people, not just blacks, but a lot of people that are angry can use this as a point to focus their anger. So let me go back to it. The Nazi Party burned books, destroyed statues, violently opposed free speech. That reminds you of Berkeley and several other places. Smashed windows of businesses. We've seen that. Remember Ferguson, Missouri, Baltimore, Berkeley. Euthanized babies, not ideal. Well, we've done even worse than that in America with all of our abortion. We've euthanized babies simply because we didn't want them. They might have been ideal, but we simply didn't want them. So away with them. Used a mob to intimidate opposition. We saw that in Charlottesville. We've seen that in several other places. Those who forget history are doomed to repeat it. Now, I read this recently, but I can now say I've got, is it 3 or 2 other sources? I think it's 3 other sources that can verify large points of the points in this article, and that's the reason I'm going to read it again so we can discuss it, because this, brothers and sisters, is some of the most important information we've got talking about the start of the internal revolution. Now, I read this about a week ago. It's dated August 15th, but then I said this comes from your Newswire. I'm not familiar with yournewswire.com. Matter of fact, I'm not familiar with a lot of news sources out there. I'm a Bible prophecy guy, not a news guy. Headline says, Police, Charlottesville was inside job to ignite race war. Now, it's only, 6 or 8 paragraphs. Let's read through it. A Charlottesville police officer claims the riots, which pitched white supremacists against Antifa, were set up to further the agenda of the elites. Now, essentially what that said is that, and I haven't been to a chicken fight, but I understand the way they get the chickens to fight is they pick up one chicken and throw it against the other chicken, and the other chicken then starts fighting back, and so they'll throw the chickens against each other to get them to fight. What the police officer, which again I found now several of the sources that have backed this up and verified many of the points, not all of them, but many of the points of this article, so now I feel fairly comfortable in saying probably the rest of it is also accurate. So I'm probably accurate in saying what I'm telling you is true. So they're saying that they pitched the white supremacists against the Antifa. The way we say it is they made the left fight against the right, or the right to fight against the left. In other words, they caused the internal revolution. Again, the fall of America would start with an internal revolution in America started by the communists. Hang on, there's more. A Charlottesville police officer has now come forward to express his anger at being told to stand down by the city mayor during violent clashes between protesters. He also claims the protest, which pitched white supremacists against members of Antifa, were set up to further the agenda of the elites. We Charlottesville police were ordered to bring the rival groups together, and as soon as they were in contact with each other, we were told to stand down. It was outrageous. We weren't allowed to arrest anyone without asking the mayor first. We weren't even allowed to stop the driver as he sped away. Now, this is the guy that killed someone. Quote, the event was being set up as far back as last May, and it went like clockwork, unquote. Michael Siner, the mayor of Charlottesville, ordered police to stand down during the most chaotic and destructive period of the protest, despite police protests against the orders. Quote, we wanted to do our job and keep the peace, but these people in charge really want to destroy America. Let me read that again. The people in charge really want to destroy America. What was the prophecy? The fall of America would start with an internal revolution started by the communists. Oh, well, were these communists? Very good question. Let's go to the next part. Fox News reporter on the scene in Charlottesville backs up the police officer's claims, saying Michael Siner is a Virginia Democratic activist with close ties to Barack Obama and John Podesta. Before landing the Charlottesville mayor job, he previously worked with Podesta at the Center of American Progress. Okay, that word progress, that's the modern term for communist. And worked with him again on Barack Obama's State Department transition team. So, we have the mayor and the governor both in cahoots, throwing the chickens together and making them fight, then backing the police officers off so that they could have a big argument. Is that started by the communists? Is that the internal revolution started by the communists? I'm going to say probably. I can't say for certain. I mean, it could get worse because it does say some of the people will start fighting against the government. Do you think some people here that fighting each other, is that considered fighting against the government? Can you consider when they want the Confederate statues pulled down, some of the government doesn't want them pulled down? Is that going to mean bullets are going to fly at government sources shortly? And is this the start of it? Could be. What I'm more concerned about is, could it be that this trouble that we see with these Confederate statues and other things is actually bringing, or I should say, speeding up our move towards the second snake bite? Now, let me read 4 scriptures, and then I'll explain, refresh your memory on the snake bite. Leviticus 18:23 says, neither shalt thou lie with any beast to defile thyself therewith, neither shall any woman stand before a beast to lie down thereto. It is confusion. Now, if you back up to the other verses, it's just basically talking about things or sins that cause sin to be upon a nation. And in verse 24, it says, defile ye not yourselves in any of those things, for in all these the nations are defiled, which I cast out before you. Now, here's my point. And the land is defiled. Therefore, I do visit the iniquity thereof upon it, and the land itself vomiteth out its inhabitants. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes, my judgments, and shall not commit any of these abominations. Listen, listen, listen. Neither any of your nation, nor any stranger that sojourneth among you. So, that's another reason. When we open our borders and we let people in with other gods, it's just like they not only bring diseases, but they also bring sins, the names of other gods, and that's part of the reason that a nation is destroyed. But let me go back to the point I'm trying to make with this. Because of sins in a nation, that they are judged more quickly. And because of this fussing and fighting and arguments and even blood drawn. I mean, now there's been blood. Okay, there's been blood in America over these Confederate statues now. And that blood is hitting the ground. I mean, this could be speeding our judgment. It could be. And by the way, the Kushner's over talking to Israel right now, and he's trying to get the Palestinians and the Jews to kiss and make up. And you know what that means? They want to come up with a 2-state solution. That means splitting the land of Israel. We allow the land of Israel to be split, and God will split America. So could this be bringing the meteor? Could we be moving closer to the suitcase nukes or earthquakes? What about an EMP blast? Or a nuke on a passenger jet? All of these things have all been prophesied, brothers and sisters. My point is, because of the sins on our land, because of the arguments and the fussing going on with things like Charlottesville and Ferguson and Baltimore and others, because of those, it may very well be canceling out our fasted prayers where we're asking God to soften and to delay these judgments. Now, in case you don't remember that, I guess it was, I don't have the date here. I don't have the date right here in front of me, but this was a dream where an angel visited Michael Boldea, and essentially it's a picture of an eagle that lands in a clearing, to get right to the point here, and a brown snake comes up and attacks the eagle, and that's the first strike, and later on it says that this is 9/11. Then he said, and I'll read this, the second bite was much worse than the first, and for an instant the eagle was stunned. Then a serpent much larger than the previous two, made up of many colors, meaning many nations, slithered toward the eagle, opened his jaws, lunged, taking the whole of the eagle's head in his mouth before biting down. Now, he says, one thing I feel important to share with you is that the second snake bite seemed to come from an unexpected place. Well, would you call a meteor unexpected? Suitcase nukes? Earthquakes? What about an EMP blast or a nuke on a passenger jet flowing over America? I think all of those would be a big surprise to your typical American out there. Here's my question. This is the point of the whole broadcast. Could all of this fussing and fighting, could all of this message of the eclipse, could it be saying, I don't think it's a specific day, but it may very well be saying in general that God has put a strike across our nation. He may say that this nation has been weighed in the balances and been found wanting, and that our nation is finished, like he said to Nebuchadnezzar. Now, that night it hit Nebuchadnezzar, but in our case, maybe it's a season. Maybe all of this is saying that we're about to get the second snake bite. I think a lot of people are sensing in the spirit that all of this fussing and fighting is bringing us to something really, really bad. Is it bringing us to the full-blown internal revolution where the Russians attack and defeat us in one day? Yeah, we obviously know it's heading there, but my question today for this broadcast is, could it be hastening, speeding up, reducing our time to get to the second snake bite? Meaning, could we be seeing an earthquake here in the next few months to weeks? What about an EMP blast? North Korea says that they can put their finger on a button that will level America. Well, that sounds like an EMP blast from 3 different satellites, which I understand they have up there at exactly the right place, the exact right height. That could take out America. I mean, one EMP blast that knocks out our electricity and we're done for. Within a few weeks, we're talking about millions of Americans would be starving to death. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your prayers. And remember, it's still summertime. Thank you for your gifts of support. We do need your help. God bless. Now from the Prophecy Club, some exciting opportunities for you. We have put the collection of the best of the 2016 DVDs together in an awesome gift offer. First, Miracles in Pakistan. Pastor Masih tells the story of 23,000 Muslims that he led to Jesus in Pakistan. Then in his DVD, Visits to Heaven and Hell, tells about going to heaven once and twice to hell, and it will scare. And then the third one is The Babylonians Are Coming, his 9 dreams that God gave him about judgment on America. Then Bree Keaton talks about explosive prayer strategies, emergency prayers that work. Finally includes Lindsey Williams' new DVD, Trump Speaks to the Elite, and how Trump changed things and the new plans of the elite. 5 DVDs valued at $168, all available now for a gift of just $75. Helps us stay on radio, okay? That's valued at $168, all for a gift of just $75. ProphecyClub.com, 785-266-1112. ProphecyClub.com or 785-266-1112. The best of 2016. Order now.